Hello wonderful people, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the sophomore EP from Skrillex, Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. Can you believe it? A decade since the release of the collection that changed the electronic landscape in so many ways. Arriving at a time when dubstep in particular, the genre that undoubtedly went through the biggest transformation as a result of it, was very much without the global appeal it has today and completely rooted in the underground. An originally low-key sound lending heavily from garage music, working in grime and two-step formats, fusing in elements of dub and jungle to form something notably dark and almost hypnotic in its design. Formulating at the turn of the century and being honed in Croydon, London by the likes of Artwork, Hatcher, Scream, Mala, Code 9, Burial, Plastician, Loafer, Koki, Benga, labels like Temper, Big Apple, DMZ, Hot Flush, Deep Medi, Hyperdub. Later on, the likes of Chase and Status, Casper, Roscoe, as the music spread elsewhere in the UK and other parts of Europe and the world. The style becoming a bit more adrenaline-fueled and being pushed out by imprints like Dub Police, Sub Soldiers, later on Never Say Die. I could of course go on and on naming names, digging deeper and deeper into the origins of the genre, but fast forward to 2010 and dubstep undergoes its most wild and outrageous transformation yet. Sonny Moore, who'd left the Screamo band from first to last in 2007, a band which he fronted as the lead singer and songwriter, adopted a fresh alias in a new solo electronic venture, Skrillex. A couple of years down the line, Moore was travelling Europe and eventually ended up staying at the house of Dutch trio Noisia, with whom he wrote a lot of music, and amidst all of that, his debut EP, My Name is Skrillex. Unleashing dubstep in a new way altogether, making the sounds more aggressive than ever, giving them a grainy electro flavour, and even dropping them into pulsating rave-like backdrops. It was remorseless, full throttle, devilish, yet simultaneously fun, bubbly, chirpy, inviting. It was quite the blend of attitudes. Not long at all after that release, he gets a call from his manager, who had just spoken to deadmau5's manager. And in Moore's words, they want to release an EP and take you on tour in October. My jaw just dropped. I was like, fuck man, I have half of a song done and bits and pieces of stuff I wasn't even planning on making a record out of. In the last 2 weeks of September 2010, he pulled 18-hour days every single day and created the legend that we know today as Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites. Now, My Name is Skrillex has some of his most memorable material on it. You know, for those who are aware of his earlier stuff, it would be difficult to deny that all the originals from that EP are up there with his most well-known. Its importance can't be played down, but Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites leveled up in such a compelling way that there's simply no doubt as to which one stands as the true firestarter in modern bass music. A collection posing as an album with 9 tunes, coming in at just under 44 minutes, but which you have to call an EP because the final 3 are remixes from Noisia, Zed, and Bear Noise. I mean, you wouldn't call them Skrillex tunes, would you? You know, take away 3, you got 6. It's an EP. Nevertheless, it did win Best Dance Album at the 2012 Grammys, as well as Best Dance Recording for the title track, which would go on to reach double platinum in the US 3 years after it came out. Many cite Roscoe as having started the BROSTEP trend, with him even famously saying it himself. In terms of individual tunes giving the genre its name, what it's remembered for, this song rules over every other. Supremely monstrous and gargantuan sounds, continually swallowing you whole and spitting you back out again. Basically, if larger-than-life demonic robotic music was for you, this was the new unchallenged go-to, and it remains the pinnacle. I find the break aspect of this song severely underrated. The stop-start delivery of the heaviness, the way the melody is weaved in, makes it a real rollercoaster experience in those moments. The tune that opened the door for so many, giving other producers confidence to go and make extremely in-your-face, potentially offensive horror music themselves. Also, could you name a more iconic lead line or melody in modern bass music? I certainly can't. Just before that, we have the opener, Rock and Roll, a tune where there's simply too much good going on for me to cover all of it. The pulsating introduction with Hello again to all my friends, together we can play some rock and roll. One of the most exciting openings to an EP I've ever heard, and it very much carries on in that vein, albeit in a much more full throttle and riveting way. Colossal, belchy, quick-paced drops, relentless but still so measured in spite of that manic delivery. Second drop is one of the best switch-ups of the modern era, again that thing of being completely engulfed by the wubs, and some of his best sampling, which as you know is saying something, from the main one I mentioned earlier to the more electrifying stuff in the progressions, and of course the insufferable snippet right at the end. Oh, you're not a musical artist because you can't play play the guitar! What a load of fucking bullshit. Irony, of course, being that Skrillex can play guitar, and very well. Track 3, Kill Everybody, is another pounding electro house stomper, another really memorable vocal sample, quite bleak. Well, very bleak at its core and hollow, yet simultaneously really vibrant and full of feeling. It's always felt a little empty to me in terms of how much is going on, and the drops overstay their welcome a bit for me, but I've definitely appreciated the connection between horrifying and uplifting with it more over time. Following that, track 4, All I Ask of You, arrives at the perfect time in my opinion, keeping the pace but bringing the EP right down to earth in terms of the general mood of it. Extremely sweet, pure, genuine, wholesome, it's straight up Skrillex pop, and would be the precursor for tunes like Would You Ever further down the line. The vocal from Pennybird is also fantastic, a really good reach to her voice without going over the top, and it's just such a vibe. Like, musicality is brilliant, quite long, but I like that about it, leaving its mark on you slowly, and yeah, it just feels to me like a really long and warm hug. Then, my personal favourite on the EP, in Scatter with Bare Noise and Foreign Beggars. Production isn't as full as others here, but on an ideas level, it's another that just has too much going for it. The raw, bellowing dubstep plunging you into the depths of hell, the masterful vocal performances from Foreign Beggars, the storytelling appeal of it through the intro and outro, so much good working together so well. Speaking of the introduction and outro, the musicality there is just... It's some of the best I've heard in bass music, that kind of the note progression is just perfect. It's just so fucking good. Closing up on the original front with You Friends, which I would have to say is mile and away my least favourite Skrillex song on the EP. A kinda Do de Oliphant VIP and All I Ask of You VIP combined, and in remembering the EP took 2 weeks to make, this one, to me anyway, definitely feels the most thrown together. It has a progression of sorts, but it feels wayward in its construction. The percussion in the main release around 4 minutes in straight up sounds off, just never enjoyed it really. Then we have the remixes, and especially in following With You Friends, this is where the EP takes a bit of a downward turn for me. The noisier remix of the title tune isn't a take I've ever gotten a lot out of. The ideas don't do much for me, and the production I've always found a bit too rough. Just doesn't add anything to the original. Like, I love Noisier, always have, always will, but this just isn't them in their best form. Likewise, Zed's remix of the same track, I just don't find anything of note to enjoy about it. I mean, it sounds like Zed, and there are some nice melodic touches dropped in, but it doesn't unleash the original in a new way at all. It's haphazardly assembled, and no true ideas shining through. The EP does, however, finish with a bang with Bare Noise's remix of Kill Everybody. The introduction sets the scene perfectly, repeating the vocal sample in the build where the original doesn't, which for me, in my opinion, is the best step it takes as a remix of that tune. It just gets you so fired up for the heaviness. The drops hurling as much as they can at you, you know, I think it could have perhaps done with a bit more development at points in that regard, but what we do get is put together so well. The tripling is just pure sex, I have to say it. A rare example of enjoying the remix more than the original. Personally, just for me, just putting it out there. But in wrapping up here, I just want to reflect a bit more on the impact this EP has had beyond the music itself. This is probably the most celebrated bass release of the modern era. Electronic music generally may be a bit of a stretch, you know, people will look to the likes of Daft Punk, Disclosure, Deadmau5, James Blake, Avicii, Calvin Harris, Jamie XX, Flume in terms of influence, but for bass music, where is the influence of this EP felt most? It's a fusion of pop, mainstream and bass, more outright than we'd got with Pendulum, Chase and Status and Hadouken before him, more visceral and more poppy. And this led to the likes of Nero, Zomboy, Feed Me and more doing that with albums or projects of their own. The success of Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites led to the formulation of his label Owsler, which set off the likes of Cone Sound, Kill the Noise, Alvin Risk, Seven Lions, Moody Good, Must Die, groups like Dog Blood and I Am Legion. On the lighter side, Zed, Porter Robinson, Dylan Francis, What's So Not, The M Machine, so many more. Just the reach and stretch of this thing is almost immeasurable. It led to the modern dubstep explosion and subsequent EDM boom in 2012 when media mogul Robert Silliman invested $1 billion into the industry via his company SFX Entertainment. A massive reason why it's so big today. And of course, the global superstardom and recognition. This got Skrillex working with Kanye West, Justin Bieber, Mariah Carey, The Doors, Lady Gaga, Chance the Rapper, Korn. I can keep going. Moreover, people using heavy forms of electronic music in their art. A$AP Rocky, films like Transformers, adverts like Art of Raw, so much more. Put simply, it's era defining. You know, the ways in which it changed music and art at large are, in my opinion, many, but predominantly it's the catalyst for creating the bass scene we know and love today. I don't find it perfect by any means, you know, the originals are almost all superb, but a few of the 9 do bring it down as a whole collection. I don't find it his best project even, I reserve that for Bangarang myself. But it is undoubtedly a classic, you know, regardless of the less good stuff, the amount of iconic material is near unparalleled in bass music in the EP format, birthing a new culture and movement in the way many musical developments have in past decades. Techno in Detroit, house in Chicago, just look at where bass music is right now, how much it's grown. It's because of this EP. The bedroom producer suddenly becoming a global phenomenon, putting musical talent to use through technological craft, the DAW becoming the new invaluable tool for thousands across the world, and Skrillex was the face of that, the flag bearer, the leader. And who do we thank beyond Skrillex himself? Well, deadmau5 of course, who put the EP out under his Mousetrap label alongside Big Beat. The same Mousetrap which also released Excision's X-Rated album, both him and Skrill, now heralded as the kings of modern dubstep, in different ways for different reasons. Noisier Split the Atom Special Edition also came out on Mousetrap, so really we've got a lot to thank Mr. Zimmerman for. For the modern dubstep fans in particular, think of any artist you love today. What they're doing is in large part thanks to Skrillex and this EP. The inspiration of all inspirations. So new, so different, so out there, but so unapologetically itself. People loved it then and still do now. Timeless music in that the production is very of its time, giving it a certain charm and character, but almost all of the ideas are incredible enough to be appreciated just as much today. An EP he made in 2 weeks, essentially homeless, straight after his debut, no holding back, pure instinct, all in, raw, genuine, and importantly, it will keep the mosquitoes away. I mean, it literally does everything. So yeah, Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, absolute class, revolutionary, and one that I celebrated immensely when it came out, celebrate immensely now, and will celebrate immensely 5-10 years from now, and well into the future. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this celebration of Skrillex's most famed collection. I think you'll agree. Let me know all of your memories and enjoyment of the project, your favourite tunes on it, all of that in the comments below. But yeah, beyond that, subscribe if you're yet to, hit the bell along the way, various links in the description below, and yeah, I'll see you legends in the next one. Peace.